Hey, what's going on, guys? Karyapin here, back again with another video. Just gonna be ranking some car companies. We'll just see how this goes. Uh, First and foremost, Fiat. Fix it again, Tony. Cinquecento moment. From like a meme or like a video game standpoint, Fiat's a solid C tier company. I don't really make anything that's interesting minus the 124 slash Fiata. I will say, however, there are some older cars from Fiat that I do like. If I go into a setup course real quick and actually look what I have for Fiat. Brands. How's Fiat doing? Oh my god, I'm cooked. I don't have a single car. I have a single Fiat, technically. No, I have three. So the 128, which is like the 124 is the coupe, the 128 is this. Then you have the 131, which is kind of like an updated 128, like a slightly bigger 128. And then you have this, the Fiat 2300S Coupe Ghia. Well, the body's by Ghia, obviously, because Ghia's a car designer. And this car, the way it drives in Assetto Corsa, this mod specifically, even though it's made to be like AI traffic, it just drives so nice. One of the nicer cars I've ever driven in Assetto. Even though it's not really made to be driven. I'll put it in a solid C tier. Alfa Romeo. Fiat, but way better, in my opinion. Some elite cars from Alfa Romeo. I really wish they got the Maserati treatment when it comes to things like the early 2000s. I feel like whoever was running that group of companies, Ferrari, Maserati, and Alfa Romeo in the early 2000s, really should have backed Alfa Romeo with something quite nice, like beyond the 8C. The 8C is lovely, right? Like, it's aged incredibly well. I think for me, the 8C is like a top 10 car of all time. Just wish it was manual. None of them came in manual. They came with not Cambio Corsa, because this is a bit after Cambio Corsa. They came with like ZF gearboxes, I want to say, because it's like 2006, 2007 ish. So this would have been like just after the original, I say original Gran Turismo, but this would have been like after Cambio Corsa into the ZF gearbox era of Alfa Romeo. But yeah, you have a bunch of cars. The Brera as well, one of the prettiest front wheel drive cars ever made. You have the legendary V6. Even though I think, for me personally, uh, Alfa Romeo and Fiat reliability ain't really there, right? The world, I think, I think these companies would be unstoppable if they could get the reliability down. At least when it comes to like interesting things. Boring cars, I don't really care about, or cars people won't really think about. I don't necessarily care about. Acura, NSX, all of the Type S cars. Uh, I do like the TL, but Acura does have a bad rap. Fuck it. They're actually no, they're in us. But Alfa Romeo has history, so I think I'm gonna put Acura in A tier. Honestly, I think from a general standpoint, Acura's made way better cars than Alfa Romeo. But as a feeling standpoint, they're kind of equal to for me. Like I could swap these two any day of the week, honestly. And I think the Honda backing, well, Honda basically made Acura to kind of get around sales issues they were having in the US. They wanted to sell more cars there. They just couldn't with their brands. This goes for Nissan and Toyota as well, with Lexus and Infiniti. So at the time, in the like 70s slash 80s and 90s, they needed to make more brands and make cars here in order to sell them here. That's where you get the Infiniti Q45, Lexus LS, and Acura Legend. And I think those cars specifically are the Jap best bits of Japan from like the 80s and 90s. At least for me personally. Uh, I do think like the JDM era is a bit overrated. You know, you see all these cars going at auction for like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't really see it. There are some cars where I do think they are very special, like the rarer R34s, because they only made like in total 11,000 R34 GTRs in all of their variants. For example, for NSXs, I believe under there's like less than 10,000 of them, I want to say, for the original one, as well as the facelift in the early 2000s. I just want to say. But yeah, in my opinion, I would also give them S. But Alfa Romeo's history and their racing pedigree and all that stuff, it's just, they just make, like, you look at an Alfa Romeo from the 60s and you just, if you don't go like, wow, this thing is beautiful, something's wrong with you. Citroen C tier. You do have like the DS and stuff like that, but really as a brand, Citroen never really interested me. The other French manufacturers like Renault and Peugeot really interested me a lot more than Citroen ever did. Citroen's just very boring, at least to me. Chevy, three on the tree. Honestly, they belong in S tier. Genuinely, I will say. Is Celine technically a car company? Not really. More like a tuning company now. They used to be a car company, but it's not like rough where you have different VINs for stuff. So would you does this include Celine supercars? Because then that pumps them up. But the tuning of Mustangs really mellows it out. I'm not really biased or anything, but I'm actually gonna move these two down. I think Chevy as a provider of performance cars is simply unbeatable. I mean, the C6 Z06 alone kind of squad wipes. Like, that is, not only is it like a go-to car for like when you want to bridge the gap between like the supercars and the very nice stuff and the basic bitch stuff. Yeah, the C6 is where it's at. That is a car right there. I know they're gonna be like hugely expensive in the future because everyone's gonna want one. Everyone's gonna build one. Like half of Texas probably owns like built C6, Z06, and 01s. Even though like the heads are a little wonky with those engines, the LS7, those cars are great. Camaro's great. The 1LE is amazing. Truly, man, we were living in peak back in the day. 2015, 2016, ZL1 versus GT350R. You know, on a track. Those were the days, man. I feel like the over commodification of like horsepower now just really ruined. I feel, in my opinion, the Hellcat ruined the potential of modern muscle cars. In my opinion, it just went in the wrong direction. Because if you look back, right, to Plymouth and Dodge in the 1960s and stuff, those muscle cars are still quite light, and they could sort of handle. For like SCCA racing and stuff, they weren't really bad. Like I never really understood the notion of muscle cars handling bad. They just handled slightly worse than European sports cars, but then they would just get done in a straight line. That's why whenever you watch like a Goodwood Festival of Speed, when they're going around the track in like the 60s and 70s stuff, the cars that usually win are the high horsepower stuff. Like for the 50s and 60s stuff, when we're not talking about like the Lotus, 12s and 11s and stuff like that, the super light, sort of like pre prototypes, I want to say. Like they're kind of in that general vicinity, but like the road going stuff, when it comes to road going stuff, you need the straight line speed. I mean, obviously the tire technology was not it back then. So whenever you see like a FOS, you'd always see the cars just sliding about a little bit. They're never really they're never really driving always in the straight line, and it's better to make up your time whenever it comes to racing in a straight line rather than cornering for the most part. I will say, however, the and uh, Corvette and the Camaro alone make them an S tier. But God, it's just that there's nothing really beyond though. I'd say the Impala as well, like the SS, the non SS as well. If you're like a classic, just like, but they don't really make like a Grand Tourer unless you consider like the stock standard Corvette to be a Grand Tour, which it kind of is, but it doesn't really have the luxury to be a Grand Tour. It really depends. Honestly, I'm gonna remove Alfa Romeo into S, but for cars I'd actually own, it's Acura all the way. Just simple, easy, reliable, very easy to work on. Just nice. Celine, um, as a I don't want to disqualify them because they're now a tuning company. They're no longer technically a car company. At least I think so. Like, what the hell happened to Celine? The S7. Oh man, goated car as well. I'd be so pissed if I was Ford in the 2000s, right? You're happy you just finished, your homage to the GT40 and the Ford GT, and then fucking Celine like a year or two later, or like at the same time, I think. If I look up Celine S7, oh man, okay, are they still technically around? That's all I want to know. 2000 to 2007. So I'm assuming, right, this does not count this doesn't account the twin turbo. This is not a twin turbo. I believe the twin turbo has like the big rear wing. But the normal non twin turbo 7 liter, ah, it was designed by Celine. It wasn't. Is it a Ford engine? I just want to know if it's a Ford engine. Yeah, these are the specs for the twin turbo. Invest in Celine. Fuck no. Y'all are gonna lose mad money for this shit. But they're essentially like a tuning company, and while they're cool and all, this is peak for me, man. A non twin turbo Selena 7. You don't need the twin turbo, honestly. You know, big engine in the oh man, I would if I was Ford, I'd be pissed. But the production for the original Selena 7 ended in '07 technically. So that is technically their only car that they actually produced. And it's kind of like Mosler, but Mosler. Fuck. God damn it! If Mosler was here, I'd probably rank them higher than Celine. But Celine's not here. That's some elite car knowledge that most people don't know about. But I feel like, fuck, they only made one car, but the car is so good. Oh fuck it, it's my childhood. I'll put him in A. I'll put him in A. Actually, not B. Yeah, B. Volkswagen. The Kinderheim is really pulling them down. But I've always been a fan of the GTI. The GTI is that one for me. The R, now it's a bit boring. The GLI as well. I mean, from like a entire car company standpoint, VW is hurting right now. But I do love 5-cylinder engines, so I think that's a B tier for me. I'll put Citroen in D, honestly. Oldsmobile, old people cars. If I'm struggling to think about a car to put for Oldsmobile, they're a C brand. Honda, yeah, man, I'm sorry. If Acura's A, Honda's S. Just Civic, Civic Type R, NSX Type R, S2000. What else? S660, N660, Beat, Accord Euro R. Well, I already said Accord, but Accord Euro R, which is technically a TL. What else? Damn, I'm just like I'm blanking. But Honda just has so much heat; it's not even funny. Uh, we don't even need to talk about the motorcycle company as well. They're pretty heat. Ferrari. Damn. Huh. I mean, the California line ruins it a little bit, but there's never been a time where I didn't want a Ferrari, and my dream Ferrari is like a 512 TR. And damn, bro, a 512 TR and like bronze. I kind of want to say, I don't know. Ferrari is not a bronze company. They wouldn't really do that. Rosso, of course, is fucking annoying. Rosso Mugello. Yeah, that's now you see if you can think of a dream car from your car company instantly, it's obviously an Ace here. I just don't like I just don't like the California line. I do like the original California. The original California is good. The rest of the cars after that, not so much. Even though they're like pretty decent in terms of performance, it's just there's no drive. Like you don't go into a Ferrari dealership and you ask, "Hey, can I get the Amalfi, please?" You don't really ask that. Like, let's say for example, you go to their website right now. You type in, oh, god damn it. There we go. Um, Reject optional cookies. Like, look at this. Bro, what is that? Oh God, sports cars. They don't even call them supercars. The Electrica. What is that? Come on. You know what? Ah, no. Oh, God, this is so stupid. The 849 Testarossa, I actually don't mind the look of. It's not bad. It's one of those things that grew on me. I just feel like, ooh, this in Gaia Modena is not bad. I just don't like the interior. It's just gray interior just doesn't sit right with me. You gotta jazz it up, do something with it. The 296 is always my cup of tea, whether in GTB or GTS. The Dodeichi Chilindri. Yes, nah, man. Fuck. I really like. Oh wow, they still sell the Roma Spider. Man, that must be awkward. You pull up, you pull up to the, pull up to the scene in your new Roma, and the Amalfi came out, and there's gonna be a convertible for the Amalfi. That'd be awkward. And well, technically these are all their supercars. Oh man, goaded, goaded. Um, Lycan, they don't sell them here, and I have never seen one. Just gonna be real with y'all. Hennessy, um, someone's Dodge Viper is probably in disrepair still to this day because of this dude. So I'm gonna put them below Celine and Volkswagen above Celine. Renault, Clio, Phase 1, 2, the mid engine stuff, the 5, the Turp. Oh my god. Yo, Renault might actually be the most slept on car company, I think, in history. And they own Nissan, they own all of these things. Truly slept on. Plymouth, Cuda, Roadrunner. Golly, man, some hits from Plymouth, but oh wow, they fell off, and they did the Plymouth didn't even get the good version of the Neon, if I remember correctly. Like, it's kind of hard to sell like if you're already getting a Dodge, that brother Dodge and accountability. You're already getting a job. If you're already getting a Dodge, like why even bother with a Plymouth? But they did make some cool cars. Rolls Royce. I've too many douchebags. D tier. Great cars, just douchebags. I would honestly put most. I'd put like most luxury cars down here, but if you know, you know, and if you've ever had a good experience with like a luxury car manufacturer, they're just peak, in my opinion. Mazda, oh man, S tier. Behind all of them though. Yeah, I think honestly, I might actually do this in reverse. Oh man, Infinity. If you know, you know. I'm probably the only person that doesn't hate Infinity. Like the things that they have done for like the cheap drift car has been incredible. I'll put them behind right now. Actually, C tier above Fiat. Ram. Know what I do? I ram them. They technically do they exist? Are they like wrapped into Dodge now, or I mean, either way, I'll put them in D tier. Not really a truck person. Kia, underrated as hell right now. Slept on. Like if if I look up Kia right now, I, the new K4 hatchback, I need that. That new K4 hatchback looks goated. Hopefully, we get like an N style car around this for Hyundai, please. I mean, I know we had the Veloster, but like, and it's starting at 25 grand. 190 horsepower though is not a lot. Man, getting a getting a turbocharged. I'm assuming this is gonna be like a 2 liter 4 cylinder. 190 horsepower is pretty bad nowadays. Like, you gotta try and make that little horsepower from an engine. Like, I could download automation right now and make a turbocharged 2 liter inline four make more power than this. I'm not gonna lie. That kills the vibe. But if you're if it's just like for you're probably not getting this. You're getting something from like Hyundai's N line, like the Elantra. The thing is, these cars get stolen a lot. And that's the only thing I'm scared about. If they fix the key stuff, I think these are gonna be great. Like, I'm gonna genuinely want one of these. Current red, or black pearl. Obviously, most people are gonna buy these in like these 4 colors, and I think that's bullshit. If you're gonna buy a car, you buy it with like the fun stuff involved. Ooh, red interior. Oh, fuck. They don't give you like a. There's no greens. There's no oranges. Like, this thing would fucking slap with. There's some Genesis colors that would absolutely go hard on these Kias, and the fact that they don't give them these colors is crazy. Because Genesis, same with Mazda, right? They are underrated for colors, in my opinion. Some of the best colors in the game when it comes to it. But like Kia in general, I do quite like. The Soul, the Chipmunks. Not even. Were they like gerbils? If you know, you know. But those commercials, good times. Now I'm not really seeing anything I like. Yeah. So it's 2 grand extra for the hatchback. I'm feeling it. But I don't know if I'm feeling it. You feel me? I do like this thing though. Maserati, deeply underrated, but at the same time, you are gonna lose so much money buying one of these. It's so frustrating because all the signs of like like a terrible but good car company exist. It's I call this the 10-year effect. If a car has been in production for more than 10 years, that's a sign that the company's going belly up, but this car is beloved. And that is me and the Gran Turismo. The Gran Turismo from Maserati, the original Bentley Continental, and I'm not talking about like the one from the 90s. I'm talking about the one from like '06. Damn, '06 was like filled with heavy hitters. Like, so you have in '06 to '07 to 08, and then we stretch this on to like '09. From '06 to, I want to say, from '06 to '09, you have like 3 or 4 cars that never got updates. These are all sports cars They essentially never got updates, and I want to rope in like I'm gonna rope in a few cars here. So you have the Bentley Continental, the OG, the very rounded, voluptuous one, and I will say the refresh as well. You can lump into there as well, even though it's like a slightly different chassis or whatever. That's when the V8 came in, but like you have that Continental. Favorite one, GT3R, easy, any day of the week. I think the GT3R is the one to get. That car was around for like 12 years, I want to say, until they updated it in like 2018. So you have that. You have the XK, like the Jaguar XK. That was another brilliant coupe ruined by a terrible transmission. Um, in my opinion, almost as good sounding as the Gran Turismo, maybe even better. It was a better sports car for sure, because the Gran Turismo is huge, and I don't think people know this, but like you ever see like a Maserati Gran Turismo and you're like, damn, this thing is fucking huge. It's like a boat, but it's like a boat in the right sort of way. It's like a beautiful catamaran, is the best way to describe one. So you have the Maserati Gran Turismo, which never got any updates. The best one obviously is the MC Stradale. You have Bentley Continental. Obviously, you can go with the GT Speed, but for me, the GT3R was quite cool, even though that was a V8 car. You then have the XK, the XKRS, obviously. The one with the wing, yep. That one, pretty rare, but if you can find one, another goated car. And finally, Nissan GTR. You know, the king of the hill when it comes to big, not a GT car, but kind of a GT car. I feel like I feel like Nissan really dropped the ball. They could have made something really special. They took the engine and drivetrain out of the GTR, and instead of putting it in a Juke, they could have put it in a G37 and made like a bajillion dollars. Like, yeah, you sell the GTR drivetrain, maybe like take off the turbos so you just have the VR30. Um, Maybe like down the compression a little bit. You know, it'll make like 400 horsepower without the turbos. Almost making like 470 with turbos, but like, maybe like probably make like 370 to 400 horsepower without the turbos, and just call it like the G35 slash. Actually, no, the G37 would have been out at this time, so it would have been like the G37 R or something like that, and you essentially make like an M3 killer for like less money than what it would cost to like build an actual M3 killer. Even though the G37 never really was that, especially at altitude. God is a G37 slow at altitude. At sea level, it's fine, but like any naturally aspirated heavy car is gonna suck at altitude. Like, low, genuinely awful. So I feel like in that sense, Maserati at their peak was brilliant. Now, what's it called? They make it's not the MC20 anymore. It's the McPura. Yes, they make the McPura, and I think it's great and all, but like, just call it the MC20. I think it's okay. It's gonna lose you money, but honestly, it's just so good looking. Same with the car. It's also the car that is based on it. That's an Alfa Romeo, the 33 Stradale. The only thing is, right, the original 33 Stradale was a like 3 liter super high revving V8, rev to like 10,000 RPM. And I think people are going to be disappointed by the way the car sounds. The new one. The new one looks great. It just sounds like shit. Like most twin turbo V6s, I will say this: any V6 that's twin turboed usually sounds terrible, except for maybe the 296. And that's a maybe. I'm really not. I really like the 296, but at the same time, there's just like there's just no connection for me there. Like I'm not longing for a 296. Like I would be happy if like, you know, Godlow genuinely dropped one in the driveway, even though it's snowing like crazy right. It's snowing like crazy right now, but low can you low key. I kind of want to put them in B tier just to make people mad. Even though they're not good now, Maserati of old was just built different. I forget I forgot to mention the birdcage, the all those 60s and 70s cars that nobody fucking talks about. Oh, by the way, they used to make the fastest sedan in the world at the time. Like, bro, you could be doing 150 miles an hour in a sedan in the late 60s, early 70s. Like the Quattroporte was low key beating up supercars back in the day. Like you could be on the autobahn, right, and you're driving around in your new uh Dino, for example. Let's say you buy a Dino fresh off the lot. It's used. It's a 246. You know, it's not the 206. God help you. That's probably one of the only things I will never get about the how is the 206 worth more than the 246? I know it's because of rarity and like some Ferrari Mr. Hansing of the horse right there, but in genuine in genuine concern, 206 owners, please, I need to know the difference beyond like the the beyond the comparisons between the drivetrains. Like, what makes a 206 worth more than a 246? I would love to know. Um, Porsche, easy fucking S tier. Why do I even bother? They're like the most boring company that can't make boring cars, but when they make the 911, they make sure it's peak. And it's just like the most interesting experience of all time. Cause like imagine, right? You're like the fucking EPA, and you see Porsche submit their shit, and it's just like, God, fucking damn it, Hans has done it again. He somehow made the GT3 20% lighter, still good in a car crash, and damn, my German accent's terrible. Still amazing in a car crash, and somehow, some way, it does 30 miles to the gallon. It's truly incredible. S tier. I'm. I don't even have to talk about like the race cars. I can just name off all of the. So you have the 901. You have the G series, which is the 930. Then you have then you have the 964, which is like everybody's favorite. Then you have the 993, which is kind of like the I wouldn't say it's like the redheaded stepchild because that's a 996. But like a lot of people are warming up to the 996, and for me, I always felt like the 993 was kind of chopped. It's just the fenders, I think, honestly. Like if you look at a 993, it's just not it. But like a 996 on the right wheels is peak to me. I just don't like the interior and the wheel. This is something that bothers me. It bothers me about like the Carrera GT too. So like every single Porsche wheel from like the 2000s. So if I just look up early 2000s Porsche. If I look up this, for example, right? If I look up a Boxster right now and look at the interior, you're gonna see the same fuck ass wheel, and it ruins the cars a lot. But for me, I've always been a big fan. The way the turbo looks, just it's different, bro. The turbos are just by far and away the best looking of this generation. No shade on the GT3. It's just not my cup of tea, at least from this gen. Um, in my opinion, 997, 991, and 964 are my favorites, with 993 and 996 being close. But the 60s cars don't do it for me. I'm not really a super classic car person, but there's certain classic cars that just do it for me. And classic Porsches are a bit boring. They're kind of like the cinnamon toast crunch of cars. You know they'll be good, and it's a bit boring because you've tried it a million times and you know what it tastes like, type shit. Hyundai S tier, well A tier honestly. I think given enough time, I'm just gonna put them in B tier, above Volkswagen. I'll put Renault. Renault's pretty damn good. Mercedes. Nowadays are a bit. Nowadays are mid, but back in the day, W204 C63 AMG with the M156 V8 peak. That car peak. I don't care if it's pre-refresh, post-refresh, Black Series, not Black Series. I do not care. That car is peak. Heck, it can be like triple. It could be like green with a brown interior. It's still amazing. The W204, W201 as well. I want to say. Oh man, this car is so peak. The E55 and E63s, bruh. They don't know, man. I remember once seeing a E63 on my block with a fucking lip, bro, with this fucking bumper right here. I know this is probably like a later one with the different. It's definitely a different bumper, but like this bumper was just peak. It was a bit riced out, honestly, for an E63. It was like super riced out, but it looked so menacing though. Like, I know some people genuinely don't like the four headlights, but man, this era of Merc was peak. I don't like the E55 before this, so like this generation just never really piqued my interest. And the monoblocks as well, not my cup of tea, at least for me. The monoblocks only work when they're like the modern ones. So if I look up modern monoblock modern monoblock wheels, that's not what I was looking for. If I look up modern monoblock wheels, like I just don't find these attractive. I do find like these early monoblocks, like the smaller size monoblocks on classic Mercs work. The modern monoblocks on modern Mercs just don't work. That's the best way to describe it. There's also a monoblock where uh, it's like okay, they kind of work on this. Fuck. I wanted to say they didn't work, but they kind of do. It really depends on which one you're going for. I do like these smooth monoblocks. It's just they're too fucking huge, bro. And they don't convex enough. At least in my opinion. Another thing, the Maybach monoblocks, or Maybach, I'm doing this shit in the dark, by the way. Which one? Cause I remember seeing them and I remember fucking hating them in the beginning, but these wheels right here, these wheels on an S Class coupe just hit fucking different. Especially when it's like, I don't want to say stanced, because I fucking hate stance, but like for some reason, I don't know why I like these wheels. I just never knew why. But these monoblocks are the ones that I like because they have a bit of a dish to them, right? Also, these wheels are lovely to draw. I stopped drawing a while ago. I stopped like sketching and doing all that shit a while ago. But like one thing I always liked was like lights and darks, and drawing them in like wheels and shit. And these wheels are like the easiest wheels to draw because you have a little bit of a cutout here, 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 some shadow work to get like the circular motion of the wheel, let's say, right? And all you had to do was essentially copy whatever the wheel is essentially reflecting, all the light that the wheel's reflecting. Super easy because it's just an amorphous blob when you look at it from like a side profile. Or sometimes when you get a profile like this, it's damn, I'm really going in. Normally I would not go in for a brand like this, but like fuck man. If only Mercedes just made good cars now. Nowadays I kinda wanna say there's beats here, honestly. But Maserati ahead. Hennessy, they only make one car. I did kind of skip over them, but fuck, man, this this tier list shit is hard. I'm slowly changing things around, but like as a company, I genuinely did not like what they did back in the days. Right, a bunch of people had cars they wanted to tune. Hennessy never really tuned them. He just left them out in the sun. He would do other shit, and then he'd work on other people's cars, and then he'd take people's money, take their car, and never do anything with it. So that's a huge issue. I'm not saying it's slanderous because this is all in the past. I don't know how the company's being run now. I'm assuming it's way better because people actually like Hennessy now. But back in the day, bro, Hennessy used to be getting slandered, bro. It was like it was like you wanted a car tuned in the South and you had money. UGR, Texas, well, Dallas Performance, I don't even think was a thing back then in like the early to mid 2000s. So you would have to, like, let's say, right, you buy a brand new Gallardo off the lot, right? Your homie has a C6 Z06, it's 2011, 2010, right? You want that twin turbo Gallardo experience. You got the post LP. You didn't really have enough time to get a pre LP. You wanted one, you couldn't get one, right? So you have a pre LP. You want to get it tuned. You look at whoever's tuning. There's not really too much on the internet. You got a whole bunch of options. You got Hennessy. I don't think they did Gallardos back in the day. They probably tuned your Corvette, but like, man, to say that, as much as like, I think UGR gets glazed, in my opinion, because I haven't seen them do much nowadays, but UGR is better than Hennessy, in my opinion, in terms of like, hey, you got like $1 billion, you want to get your car tuned, and you want your car back. Fuck, yeah, UGR is better. Underground Racing for the win. Those guys were my childhood. If you know, you know. TVR. Goated. People don't know. People do not know how insanely goated TVR is. If they didn't break down all the time, and if they didn't cause you a massive head, TVR is what I wish modern car companies could be. Like TVR is like what could have been had people taken more drugs at Lotus, is the best way to describe it. I want to list off a few cars that I know for a fact. So you have the Sagaris, or the Sagaris, goated car. Everybody knows the Sagaris. It's the one that's got like a bunch of divots and holes in its shit. You have the you have the Tuscan, great car as well. The Tamora, the even the early stuff, the 350, right? Chevy V8 Power, mind you, great car as well. In the what was that car pack called? In the GT Legends car pack for Assetto Corsa, great car. In general, man, TVR could have been something, right? Imagine, right? Your TVR actually starts up and drives. You have the annoying banker. His name's fucking Chris, right? He works at a fucking... What banks do they have in Britain? Fuck it. He just works at the bank, right? And Chris does bank things, and he's just bought a brand new E46 M3, and you're like, I can't take it anymore. This Chris guy's a douche. You go down, you pop down to Trevor's, you see a beautiful TVR. Beautiful TVR. Maybe it's a Tuscan, maybe it's a Tamora. You know, you don't care. You just need to punch someone in the mouth. So you hop down to TVR. They're like, all right, all the Sagarises are gone. We have this old Tamora. You know, you can pay premium money for it. You know, all of the money down. We don't know if it's gonna start, but it's gonna kick you in the teeth when it does. And man, when you line up with that annoying dude Chris at the fucking bank, you put it into first. You realize you're making almost the same amount of power, but like hundreds of kilograms less in weight, and you push Chris's shit in, and it feels good. That is the TVR experience in a nutshell. Fucking S tier. Honestly, this TVR Tamora by 101 Creative is one of the best cars I have ever driven in Assetto Corsa, hands down. I don't care if it's not the quickest in a straight line or the quickest round corners. It just slides. It loves being pushed. It's fun as hell. You will out accelerate modern cars with this. It is literally that fast. In fact, to prove it, I'm actually going to do something ingenious here. Boom, drag race. I do have a wonderful E46 mod. We could even go to like an S1 mod that makes like 400 horsepower, and it's not going to matter. But for fun's sake, let's say, you know, Chris has got his M3 tuned. He's out for revenge. He wants your head. Paul's no Diddy. Right. You find a lovely drag strip. I know it's Italy. Just don't pay attention to it. Right. Go to drag race. Let's do 3 rounds. Winner takes all. I'm gonna show you the power of a TVR and its brilliance. Round a track, round anywhere, this thing is gonna kick your teeth in. No, we're gonna do it on street tires as well. I just seen that. Please, yes, we can change them to streets. I'm gonna make sure we are not in any gear. Just look at the silhouette of the thing. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful enough. still lost, well, absolutely destroyed. No flat foot shifting, nothing. I beat him. Easy peasy. The power of weight. Honestly, I do have a Z4 mod that might actually be compatible with this. But honestly, I think the weight still will get waxed. I'm actually gonna leave after. Honestly, 14 seconds with a bad launch is crazy work, and I'm still waxing a tuned M3. If this doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. Maybe like a trip around the on the second go, I mean, if only I knew how to make paints interesting in this game, it would be incredible. TVR S tier. I just love TVR so much. Even if they make a bad car, it'll never be that bad. They're my comfort brand. Kind of like actually like Peugeot. Racing history aside, I'm gonna put them in like C tier, bro. I can't. There's just no. I have no. Like for me, I have love for TVR, even though I don't really know the brand like that. There's just something about TVR that just hits different on like a spiritual level. Like fuck. This is gonna sound British as shit, but I slag off Jaguar all the time, but TVR is just worse in every way. But the thing with TVR is, right, you can forgive them. They're like they're like the sibling that you know is a disappointment, but you love them the same. Jaguar's just the sibling who's been a banker all his life and decided to be a disappointment at the end. uh Lancia coded S. Honestly, fuck it. S tier. No, A tier. A tier, yeah. Putting Lancia above Ferrari is kind of crazy, though. Oh, man. There's just something about Lancia. The 832 with the wing that comes up in the 80s. Nobody knows about that. Ferrari engine as well. Goated car. I mean, technically, it's the same car as like a Saab. What was it? Saab Turbo something. It's before the. It's before, like a bit after the. I want to say, kind of cool. Okay, so Saab, Alfa Romeo, and Lancia all had a collab. They made this car. I believe the Alfa Romeo is called the 164. Lancia, it's the 832 Thema. I know that for 832 Thema for sure. I'm blanking on the name for the Saab variant of this car. I gotta look it up. But even though the Saab was like the slowest of the three, man, you know, a car is good when you never heard about it. You look it up once and you're just enamored by the brand. And Lancia is that brand for me. They don't make cars as good as Maserati, but the thing with Lancia that Maserati doesn't have, well, I mean, beyond the 250F might actually make them peak, but I won't include race cars too much. Just road stuff I think is best for this. I might do one where I'm thinking about race cars because that might make this look exactly the same, except TVR would probably be in like C tier. But oh yeah, I completely forgot the Speed 12. Fuck yes, bro. get get Porsche back here. Yes, they deserve it. TVR needs a win. I don't care at what cost. I will make sure TVR wins. Um, Lancia goaded. The 037. I'm probably the only person that doesn't like the new Kamoa 37 or whatever it's called. I know it's not technically a Lancia, but I do want to talk about it a bit. It's just not for me. The Kamoa 37. Like I'm all for a recreation of a car if it fits the ethos of that car, right? The 037 is this lightweight, thrash around, not super like insanely quick. Well, it is quick for its time, but it's not like quick in that sense. You know, it's basically a continuation of the fuck. How am I blanking on this? Uh, it's a continuation of the Stratos, essentially, right? The Stratos is twitchy. It's difficult to drive. Driving in any rally game, it's like one of the harder cars to drive. Even though it does have like a naturally aspirated V6, it makes it a little bit easier compared to like a turbo car, a turbo slash supercharged car, like the later Lancias were in the case of the Delta. I'm blanking on it, but I'm pretty sure the 037 was supercharged. It may have been twin charged, but the 037 coated car. Apparently they're making a new rally car that's like a Rally 2 car. It's not like a top of the line rally car, but like the second class. So like just below, based on the Thema, if I remember correctly. Damn, bro. Remember to not record in the dark. New Lancia. Okay, yeah, it's based on the Ypsilon. My bad, except oh fuck out of here. We're not even getting this, so I might as well. But it's kind of funky looking. I don't think it's gonna be good because it looks electric as hell. And for me, oh wow, you can have one with a hybrid. Wow, okay. My problem with Lancia is that they only have one model, and Lancia Ypsilon HF 280 CV. So I'm guessing this makes 280 horsepower. Oh, so there's an HF line and then an actual HF. I love these wheels, by the way. These wheels are funky, and I like that shit. Like, weird fucking wheels and weird trims are shit I like. 280 horsepower. I'm guessing the most of it comes from the hybrid system, I'm assuming. It's going to be front wheel drive based, all wheel drive. So it's probably not going to be that great, but the rally car, I'm assuming, is probably not going to have any of this. Sharp lines, this is probably not going to sell, but I kind of like it. In a weird way, it is kind of cool. The 280, of course. I hate these wheels though. Now looking at them, I hate them. What are these? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. The wheels are gonna be like the first thing to go. This orange is fucking cool. Why would you replace it with black or white? And plus, orange is not really a Lancia color. White with like the martini stripes, but obviously that's a livery. You can't really do that. Maybe you do like a white little stripe, then a blue little stripe, but then the car would look French. So maybe not. Fuck it, Italian flag. Just throw one on the car. Like that would make it so much easier. But I just want to know what engine is in this. charging modes. I just want to know what engine's in the damn car, bro. Yo, they will not tell. Oh, are you serious? You can't get this package with the hybrid? No, that's fucked up. Lancey, you might have to go down a few tiers because of that shit. Honestly, how you gonna make it HF, but it's fucking electric, dog? Come on. Okay, that looks cool. It looks electric though, so that's kind of, it doesn't give me hope. It it is cool looking. It's just not my cup of tea, man. Fuck, yeah, Lancia's going down to D tier. Ford, fix it again. No, that's actually for you. Ford found on road dead. Yeah, B tier. I feel like in terms of overall cars they've made, they've been all right. I'm just not real. Like for me, I'm thinking from a performance perspective, and Ford's actually kind of up there. Like I remember my Spanish teacher. She once told me when I saw her keys, I knew there were Ford Focus RS keys, and I was like, "Hey, these keys are interesting. What does your husband drive?" I knew she had a husband because she always left like a note on her fucking laptop about her husband, whether it be like something cute or whatever. And I'm just always, so what does he drive? And she was like, oh, he drives a Focus RS. And I'm like, what? No way. And she instantly became the coolest teacher. I failed her class though, so yeah, sorry. Very cool teacher though. Honestly, Ford GT, any generation, solos. I just feel like the continual brilliance of Chevy kind of puts Ford down. Because Ford, the Coyote and the Ellis, they're kind of like right there and there. The thing about the Ellis is that it's super modular. It goes into everything. You can throw an LS into a fucking lawn chair and there'll be parts for it. You know, with a Coyote, you'll still have that availability somewhat. It's just lesser to that extent. I'm not saying it's going to be hard to build with a Coyote, and God help me, but I think a Coyote sounds better. I've always been a Voodoo guy, though. The Voodoo just hits different, man. You hear a Voodoo, should be screaming. The Voodoo and Chevy's newer V8s, like the high pitched, high revved V8s, man, they just hit different. And yeah, I'm gonna say it, man. That Z06 might actually be the sweet spot for the Corvette. Like, fuck the ZR1. I think the Z06 is gonna be the car that everybody wants, because they're not gonna want the hybrid, and I think the turbos kind of ruin it. It's the same with the new fuck, it's not the LFA, the GRGT. I hate that they call it the GRGT. Switch the fucking names around. The LFA should not be electric. I'll talk about Lexus later. American Motors used to own Jeep and used to own Am General. If I put the XM1 program, do we fight between the programs? One's diesel and one's the Lord's engine. Hallelujah, Jesus. Pratt and Whitney. Yeah, I think honestly, AM General. Why am I saying AM General like it's a military company? No, American AMC kind of goes in C tier, but the the fact that they won that contract with with AM General over fucking GMC just like it makes my heart sing. Also, the Eagle is fucking cool, and we'll talk about Eagle later as well. Lexus top of S tier. I can't. I'm sorry, TVR, but like the IS 300, the IS 500, the RCF, the GSF, the LFA, the SC 300, the LC 500, the LS, the OG. In my opinion, the best luxury car that has ever been made, before or since. Yes, you can keep your Carmog. In my opinion, the only way for Lexus to top that is to make an LS coupe, which they never did. They made the LC, which is nice, but there's like a step of opulence that Rolls-Royce has that these other brands just could never match, in my opinion. Would I take? Yeah, I would. I would deadass take a Lexus over most of these, maybe except the Genesis G90. But that's like a toss up, man. It's like fighting over your kids. Oh, Lotus, fucking S tier, man. Behind Porsche, behind Porsche. Uh, yeah, I think, yeah. If I could put any brand in any place, I would put them there. Um, yeah, man. I just love Lotus. Oh, another company that basically never updated one of their cars. And this, if you want, if anyone's running a car company, make a sports car, never update it, and if you do update it slightly and never make a new model of the car. Your constituents will love you, bro. Oh my god, what do you mean there's like 20,000 Elises on the planet? We finally have collectible light sports car. Why are you making so many of them, Lotus? Please, our bottom lines. Our car investitures. Lotus is like, nah, I'm gonna keep making them. That's why I love Lotus. Even though they sadly can't make the Elise anymore, I think the Elise alone is an S tier car. Let alone, you know, all of F1 and stuff like that. Even still, if I don't talk about racing, you have the Esprit, you have the Elan, you have oh my, just so many cars, right? The Elan, which made the MX-5, goaded. Um, what else? I'm blanking on so many cars here. Like the Cortina, Jim Clark on two wheels. That's Lotus right there. Boom, S tier. Didn't don't even have to say anything. Jaguar F tier. They know why. They know why they're F tier. They just Jaguar is TVR without any of the sauce, right? Jaguar is what BMW wants to be, except BMW actually makes decent cars, right? The problem with Jaguar is that a whole bunch of options exist before you even start thinking about a Jaguar. Maybe you can argue for the E-Type, but that mantle's been taken over by other companies. You have Eagle, who will make you drop a mill, and you all. Do you need to have the donor car? Oh, damn. If you need a donor car as well, that might make them worse. But you have Eagle that'll make you a modernized E-Type that's actually good. You have Oh damn! I'm gonna start cooking. um, you have, like, there's three cars that I can think about when I think about Jaguar: the F Type, the XK, and the XF. And the XFRS and the XKRS are goated in my opinion. Like, if you were to just nuke Jaguar off the face of the earth, not talk about any of the cars, not talk about the Mark stuff, um, maybe the 120, like, you could probably save that. The type cars you could probably save. Um, Everything else from like the 50s beyond, just worthless. Like, they killed their own brand with the rebranding. Uh, the brand is so dead where I'm from that most people have never seen a Jaguar. I remember getting excited at my Uber driver one time because I saw a Jaguar XE wagon with some like BBS wheels on it. It was purple, had BBS wheels. He was traveling down the Southern State Parkway. Right, I saw that thing one time, and I was like, "Wow, that's cool. I'm never gonna see anything like it again because Jaguar is so dead." At least with Land Rover, right? Land Rover has love here. There's there is love for that company here, but Jaguar is so beyond the fucking pale, and so they just don't know what their customer base is. They don't know who made them. It's like, right, it's like BMW deciding to stop making M cars and just like, ah, yes, 1 liter for everything. You know, like, not even a 1 liter, like a half a liter, like a diesel hybrid for everything. Let's be like Audi, except without any of the Audi goodness. But yeah, Audi's also goaded, but I'll talk about them later. BAC mono. That's all I need to speak about with BAC. BAC, great company. They make cars, however, kind of disqualified since they don't make cars here. But I will talk about the mono. It is very cool. It is cooler than any Ariel Atom, uh, any sort of light sports car that's this side of a radical. I think BAC is cooler than. The thing that's wrong with BAC is you can't you can drive them here, but it's like a whole bunch of loops. Like, you'd essentially have to build it like a kit car, like a Caterham, for example, another company. But also Lotus 7 built this, right? So without the 7, without Lotus building the 7, Caterham doesn't exist. That right there. Honestly, I would put Lotus higher, but man, the esprit, the unreliability of British automobiles ceases to amaze me. And the fact that, arguably, in my head, the most beloved British brand for me is TVR is crazy work. Fuck, I can't keep Porsche below TVR. Actually, I'll keep TVR behind Lotus, and I'll put Mazda ahead of both of them. So TVR remains an S. So this can be like supreme rage bait to people who don't know. And I'll put Plymouth in B tier. Honestly, history wise, Maserati would be an S tier. But I'm counting modern stuff, so they're gonna be in. Oh, fuck, I gotta put Plymouth in C tier then. Damn, because Plymouth has no market whatsoever, right? Like, nobody knows what a Plymouth is anymore, unless you know. BAC, I'm gonna put them in A tier. Yeah, I'll put them in A tier. Mercury, solid rip for all the homies that lost their jobs in the 2008 financial crisis. Oh man, Mercury. not gonna lie, the Cougar is a better looking car than the Mustang. At least in its first generation, but like that's the only thing I can think of from the top of my head. Mercury, right? When it comes to ranking cars, I think my mindset is right. If I was in the dealership at the time with the money in hand, would I plant myself in the seat of this car and drive it off the lot? And if I were to go to a Ford slash Mercury dealership, because they're sharing dealerships, and I'm assuming Lincoln would be either by itself or they might be the same. There is one, or at least I think there was one. I don't know if it's still a dealership to this day, but there used to be a Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln dealership pretty far from where I live, but like that dealership could just not sell Mercuries. Only Fords were there for the most part. Like the Mercury thing was there, but no Mercuries were there. Um, Obviously, most of these cars will just be rebadges that are slightly better than Fords. In my opinion, they just don't have the brand presence. I do like their logo though. I'll put them in C ahead of Plymouth. GMC, fucking C tier, man. I do not care. If you make trucks, I do not care. Jeep, oh fuck, they're B tier. But they're like, yeah. Audi, S tier. I'm rage baiting people with this one, but it's S tier for Audi. There's nah, oh man, the R8. I'll just go bottom from bottom to top. The S1 Quattro, the the A1 Quattro, because they had made like isn't no, it's technically an S1 Quattro. My bad. So the S1 Quattro, the RS2, the RS3, the RS4, the RS5, which the modern one not my cup of tea, but like the one previous generation with the V8 just hits different. I know it was never as good as the M3. Like I know a lot of people probably gonna get mad, but it was just not. In my opinion, like all of these companies were trying to make E90 M3 killers, and it just never worked. But I think it never worked for different reasons. For example, for Lexus, I think it didn't work because the car just wasn't really popular enough. Like uh, nowadays a used ISF would be around the price of a used M3, and I would buy the Lexus every single time, except the early ones because they had open differentials. They did not have locking diffs in the early ones. Would I find myself picking between the would it be the no it would be the S40 Volvo or an E40? Oh damn, it's an E46. Fuck no. Better question is, right, with E46 money back in the day, right? Actually, with E46 money, you could buy a pretty good amount of cars back then. It's not that it's not like they were super expensive back in the day. They were just decently expensive. That's why they sold so many E46 M3s. They sold like how many E46 M3s were made? $85,000. How are they so expensive? CZP. Oh, so a CS is gonna be more expensive than a CSL usually. Man. Okay, so there's more manuals and SMGs in the US, and there's more SMGs than manuals in Europe, which means the market for manuals is going to be crazy in Europe. Oh, fudge, man. Man, ranking BMW is going to be difficult because if I rank them too high, I'm going to get shit for it. If I rank them too low, I'm going to get shit for it. So fuck it, top of B ahead of Mercedes. I just think personally, I like BMWs more, but when it comes to like actual aura for aura, an S class will beat a 7 series every day of the week. Like aura for aura, it's just not even close. Like if you go bottom to top, right? And I'll pick a specific lineup for this. So right, you have 90s BM and 80s to 90s Mercedes because there's some cars that aren't going to match up along each other. Like let's say for example the 7 series, there was technically an S class coupe. I want to say I forget what it's called, but like not the SL because the SL is small. What I'm saying is like the 8 series is like the top of the line for BMW at that time. That's like the best car you can buy from BMW, not the 7 series, which some people will argue, but right. Let's say right, you're a ambitious German businessman from the year 1997. You've made off with your .com money. You've got a few million in the bank. You don't really want to work anymore, and you just want a car that will take you to places in the lap of luxury. Obviously, you're not pretentious, so you don't drive it yourself. I mean, you do drive it yourself, my bad. So obviously, it's going to also have to factor in driving enjoyment. What would I rather pick, right? So you have Mercedes with like the biodegradable wiring and shit. That was a huge issue. And then you have BM. But the thing is, the BMWs were probably okay. So it's like BMW makes better smaller cars, but sucks at making the big stuff. Like, except for the 8 Series. I think the 8 Series was actually good. But, oh, fuck, this is hard. I put Audi ahead because Audi just makes more cars that I enjoy. But then again, alright, like, bar for bar, the biggest car BMW makes that's like top of the lines, like essentially a supercar, not the i8. Fuck that, get that shit off my screen. Um, like if you were going to buy an ultimate driving machine BMW, I'm guessing you're gonna be buying like a CSL, M4 or some shit like that. Big wing, M colors, all that shit. And then you gotta pull up to the line, and then you have a fucking AMG GT Black Series next to you. It's no question. Fuck it. I'm reversing these. And then Audi, fuck, Apt doesn't count because it. I mean, Daniel Apt kind of fucked that up, but that's a big but. Big Bundesliga. The R8 still exists, and right. No, I've got to knock them down. But they're responsible for some of my favorite cars of all time, so I gotta put them in S tier. Volvo, super underrated pick. I'm actually gonna put this in A tier ahead. I'll put Ferrari in S tier. It's pretty atypical. but I gotta do it to him. Buick. They make boring shit now, and what did they make back then? If I gotta think about it, it's F tier. Buick. Oh my God, the Regal. C tier. That's the, if no, that's Oldsmobile. The 442 is the Oldsmobile. My bad. I'll move you up a little bit ahead of Jeep. I'll spare you. Tesla, pretty boring, honestly. Like, honestly, right? All Tesla needed to do, make the 3 Series, make it rear wheel drive, give it an angle kit, give it a proper drift mode with no traction control, and then just sell it to people who want to street drift. That's it. Who cares about range? Everyone who's owning a Tesla probably lives in the city. They don't drive to places. Shelby. And fuck S here. Yeah. Caterham don't really have a presence in America. Basically, Lotus 7s to the extreme. I'll put them in B tier. Above. Yeah, I'm gonna put Volkswagen up actually. Fuck. I do feel kind of bad. I do like Volvo more though. Like, Sweden is Germany with charm. Oh, I'm getting canceled. Bugatti. The brand really doesn't have any relevance to me. Like, the Veyron's a thing, but before the Veyron, you got like the Type cars, and those really don't speak to me. Like, Brass Age era cars until like the 1930s really don't speak to me. They're nice, like they're some of them are absolutely gorgeous, but like no one who's driving a 15-foot V16 powered machine is a good person. I'm just letting you know. They might be dastardly villainous. They might skin your cats and dogs to make a coat. Yes, bitch, it's Cruella de Vil. Which would be insanely hilarious. If there was like a 1930s car ranking, I would be all for that. Like throw some Cords, some Duesenbergs, like early Rolls Royces as well. Early Jaguar. Oh my God, man! If I could put, you know what? Fuck it. I'm making it. I'm making another tier, just for Jaguar, called Jaguar tier. At a row below. um, I'll make this color dark purple, like cyan. And it's just like brands that suck. IMO. Like Jaguar is so. Oh fuck, Mini's there too. No. Oh God. Oh man. If I ruled the world, right? First thing I'm telling the Japanese brands to buy British brands by the bulk. I don't care, man. Instead of, well, I mean, we wouldn't have gotten stuff like the the LS 500, but instead of that, right? My alternate history is the Japanese do so well during the fucking crisis that the Britons have a panic. The entire British car industry, except for TVR, fails because nobody's taking my beloved away from me. I just like TVR. It's kind of like the same love I have for like Lamborghini. Oh man, that's so biased. I know they're the reason why I like cars. So Holden, they don't exist anymore, but we did love what they made, so I'm putting them in a solid B tier. Yeah, baby. I'm based. Holy shit. This shit is so based. I mean, Toyota makes boring cars, except for when they don't. And when they make exciting cars, they are top tier. They might actually be top of the list, gang. Dodge, D tier. C, nah, C tier. Yeah, C tier above Infinity. Barth, yeah. If I put C, yeah, I'm putting them right here. Hummer, God, AM General, fucking hell, man. Yeah, man. Civilian Hummers suck. I'm just gonna let y'all know. Like, people don't know that peak exists beyond the horizons of the H2 and H3. The H1 existed and it was peak. Glorious. Oh, man, Ariel. I did diss Ariel a little bit, but they're gonna have to go in B tier, man. Eagle, kinda peak. Kinda peak. They did make the Talon. I'm actually gonna put Maserati top of C. Yeah, cause I mean, actually, I'm put Infinity in B, man. That suck in my opinion, man. Pagani, my beloved. And if Lamborghini is the brand that got me into cars, Pagani is the brand that made me love them, even though they're pretentious as hell. Mini, in my opinion, could have been doing so much better. They got John Cooper Works, man. Actual name, Paul knowledge when it comes to cars. The feats that Mini has, other brands would beg for. Like, the only reason why Jaguar is not in brands that suck right now is because their Le Mans victories in my head are solo carrying them. For me personally, Mini is definitely a D tier brand now. Why did I put Rolls Royce here? I did it because they're like pretentious, but like honestly, in general, yeah, top A, bottom of A. Nissan, they are kind of cooking now with the new Z. I've yet to see a new Z, but they are cooking, and I will put them right next to Infinity. And I might actually do this, and I might put Ariel in A ahead of BAC because I think I was kind of mean to Ariel. Opel, we don't have them in the U.S., but essentially they're Buick, so I'm gonna put them right here. Subaru, lesbianism, goated car friend. They introduced me to the good old scissor and the coexist bumper sticker. Hallelujah, Jesus. Oh God, I'm getting canceled. The STI, fuck. And they're really good at rallying. Fuck. Land Rover. The only reason. Actually, no, wait, fuck it. They suck too. Jaguar and yes. McLaren. Oh, man. Course seller versus crypto buyer. The only reason why I don't put a brand like Lamborghini into brands that suck IMO is that back in the day, the Gallardo was it. And the thing is, the MP412C just doesn't hit the same. Man, you can throw anything at that thing. You can throw more boost at it, and honestly, it's probably going to be better for it. But man, you just can't. I can't fall in love with McLaren. And while the F1 is amazing, it's just that the rest of the brand as a whole just generally don't do it for me. In fact, honestly, I'ma just say it. Most of the British brands, except for TVR and Lotus, do it for me. But McLaren doesn't suck. I think they're pretty decent. Top at B. I'm gonna put Bugatti in A as well. I think personally, fuck it, man. Infinity. I I know most people hate Infinity, but the cheap drift car exists because of Infinity. Without Infinity and Nissan, you're paying 50 grand for a drift car chassis because not many people make rear wheel drive based stuff anymore. I mean, yeah, of course, you can try and make something like a fucking Crown Vic a drift car, but like, really, you're not gonna get something Japanese. Saab, oh man, A tier. No, B tier, B tier, because they definitely fell off with the GM acquisition. Another company that suffers due to GM's incompetence. Bentley again. The four horsemen of never updating your car and it being the right decision. Thank you. Thank you, Nissan, for the GTR. Thank you, Bentley, for the 2000s Continental and the refresh as well with the V8. Thank you, Maserati, for the Gran Turismo. Nobody's gonna understand what I mean, but if you know, you know. But like, never updating your sports car is just like one of the peakest things in my opinion. It's just like, oh wow, we got the sports car. We're never gonna update it. Sorry. I mean, refreshes don't really count in my opinion, but yeah, it's peak. I'm gonna just say it right now, man. Bentley, even with bad resale value, I would take a Bentley over a McLaren. Koenigsegg, oh man, problems, problems. But I have never not liked a Koenigsegg, whether it be the OG CC8, the CCX, the Trevita, the Agera, every variant of the Agera known to man, the rebodies of the Agera, the one to one, the RS, the Yesco. I mean, they don't miss. I literally named every single car that company ever made. They don't miss. Above Bugatti. Lincoln, pretty boring. Oh, man, the damn. Because Lincoln also makes a Continental. The thing that separates the Bentley Continental and the Lincoln Continental is the vast amount of quality. But one thing I will say is that the newer Lincoln Continental is underrated. I think the EcoBoost V6 is underrated overall. But the thing about that is the VR30 exists, so why? Like if you're a Japanese kind of car guy, like why? Why would you do that? Like from an engineering standpoint, I wouldn't know. Like let's say you want to swap for your drift car, you got like a crashed Infinity or a crashed Lincoln Town car, what engine you're using. I'm assuming the guy's gonna probably use the Q50 every single day of the week. So Lincoln, I'm gonna put him in D. Actually, I'm gonna put him in C because they've done some good. Chrysler, oh, they're responsible for the Dodge Viper. Fuck, where did I put Dodge? That's the. This is the only reason why you're going up in B tier. Man, but I like Kia more, and I like Hyundai more than Kia. Fuck. Chrysler, your reputation precedes you. But I'm not gonna count the mergers. So if I'm not counting the mergers, they're going in F tier. And if I'm not counting mergers, you gotta go into you gotta go into bottom of A tier, buddy. Actually, you're going behind these three. And honestly, it depends on which day you ask me. But I think personally, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Merc over BM on this one. Smart. They'd actually never really sucked, and they made like if Smart decided to make race cars instead of the fucking smart car, they would have peaked. Cause the smart car chassis is quite stiff, right? And imagine, right? You have all these beautiful, wonderful engineers. You take the smart car chassis, you elongate it, you put a wonderful, maybe mid engine coupe body over it. You give it a manual gearbox and maybe you switch out the engine for something, I don't know, um, an M240 something, right? Like, not M240, that's like a V12. Um, like an M1 something, right? Get yourself like a nice little turbo four cylinder. You have a BRZ beater before the BRZ even existed. Oh, technically it'd be more like an Elise beater. Like you could have had Smart could have made a K car before K cars really were starting to become a thing here. And that's what really bugs me about Smart. Because the Smart car chassis is actually really good. It's just the rest of the car around the chassis is bad. Um, if you ever want to, I don't know if this is copyrighted. Smart car chassis rigidity. Yeah, the thing is, they really. Oh man, you know this, because people really like Daytona prototypes now. Smart car chassis, whole car. I remember there was a smart car. There was a picture of a smart car chassis with a car on top of it, and the chassis was completely fine. That's how rigid these cars were in terms of like actual chassis build quality. But then again, I can never find that picture again for some reason. But if it does exist, I'll look for it. Can never find it. Oh, I love Porsche. But I gotta put them fourth. Lamborghini is my heart and my soul, and Pagani is everything. Pagani gives me the fizz. Fuck. Smarts and brands that suck. um, Suzuki, I'm actually gonna put in B tier, man. They were cooking in the 90s and early 2000s, and I think in the modern day, you bring Suzuki back, you give us a Swift, right? Maybe maybe something else. Not necessarily a K car, but maybe like a cheap off roader as well. Suzuki would absolutely crush the market. Like I love the Carry, for example. That's the Jimny. Oh my god! If we got the Jimny in the U.S., everything would be dead, bro. Like every single brand would be dead. Oh no! I'm getting like the very old Suzuki shit. Hmm. Oh man, Suzuki. I just want to see what Suzuki makes now. Suzuki cars today. Yes, this is what I wanted to see. Global Suzuki. Like this would sell like crazy in the US. Just some cheap shit box. Yes, this is what niggas need, right? You know? Like if the Jimny, like not the 3 door, the 5 door Jimny, right? Here's what I would bring to the US, right? This would absolutely kill the US truck market. So I'm gonna exclude this. Because obviously the chicken tax as well would probably kill any chance of anything interesting coming to the US. But I would say we bring the Swift, and just to keep it, do I like the Swift Sport more than the Swift though? Because I like the way the Swift Sport looks more, but I believe this is like the last generation. It's either the last generation chassis or it's the new Swift with like different shit on it. But I like the way the Swift Sport looks way more than the Swift. I know it's a ranking video, but I'm also talking about cars in this shit. But yeah, Suzuki top of yeah, above Hyundai. Ah, man, it's another one of those things where they're lacking a rear-wheel drive fun car. You take the Swift and you reverse the thing, right? I don't know why it's so hard for manufacturers to just make something interesting. It's not hard. Cadillac S tier, CTSV, ATSV, all of the V cars, the Eldorado, just they've done it all. They're peak. I don't, I don't even need to know where they need to place in S tier. I'm actually gonna put them in S tier. I'm gonna put Subaru in A tier above Ford. Scion, we need them back, man. We need Scion back in the US. We need Scion badly, bro. I know niggas don't want to hear it, but Scion needs to come back. We would get a cheap GR86 in the form of an FRS. Like, I mean, complete shitbox. Like, no infotainment, cloth seats, manual only, GR86 for like 20 grand. This would absolutely blow everyone's minds from a sales standpoint. Who the hell's here? I think personally Scion definitely needs to come back. I wonder if they still have their website. No, they don't. They don't have their website. But yeah, man. Oh, I don't want to leak my shit. I don't want to leak my shit. Yeah, Scion. It's up there. It's one of those brands I really miss. When the FRS came out, that was just true peakness to me. And then it became the 8.6 and shit. But, man, that was when I knew, man. When Scion failed, I knew I hated modern cars. Because that was the brand that was supposed to really succeed. It was the cheap, the fun brand of Toyota, for God's sake, man. Like, I know brands don't care, but they should have never failed. Top of C. I'll put them at the bottom of B. I'll put a Eagle any. Aston Martin S tier. Another one of my goats. Has my personal favorite car out of the entire list in the form of the absolutely gorgeous. I mean, technically the TVR is also one of my favorites, but imagine doubling the TVR in everything, minus the freakiness. The TVR is, the baddie that'll put like some syrup on her ass. The Aston Martins, the baddie that'll uh, gently guide you to safety and also put some syrup on her ass. 10 out of 10 now. Where's my DVS? The old one and the new one. Another thing, Aston Martin's probably the only company that has made better looking cars as time has gone on. I know some people didn't really like the DB11, but man, Aston Martin's just peak. I do have more of a love for Lamborghini though, because Lamborghini was my day one brand. That was my ride or die brand. Like, you know how niggas was fiending for the R34 back in the day? That was me with the Gallardo, man. Truly a peak brand. Saturn, I'll put them in C above most of these brands. Maybe, yeah, I had a Fiat. Saturn, just, it's a similar story to Scion, where it was a cool concept, but it just didn't work. Pontiac, goated brand. Made some pretty incredible cars, but I think, right, if it's a dead brand, it kind of just deserves to be here. And Mitsubishi. Ah, fuck, they made some good shit. It's not like with Land Rover, where I have to, like, I, to find a car I like from Land Rover, I gotta go to a coach builder to figure it out. Like, if, for Land Rover, I would have to go to, like, BK Coachworks or something. I would have to go to Brooklyn Coachworks, right? Look at the shit, realize, damn, that's a great looking car that's actually built by people who care, right? You know, none of the modern stuff, but then you look at the prices and then you die on the inside. $300,000 for a fucking EV. An EV. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know it's from Brooklyn. Yeah, I know they're soy soy latte drinking pansies, right? But like 300K for an electric version of a surplus military vehicle is a bit much, gang. I can understand the LS and the Cummins being pretty up there as well. This is the Land Rover TD. So it's a bit, this is basically like the cheap way to get one of these. But in my opinion, just buy one. Just buy one without going to Defender Works. Not Defender Works, Brooklyn Coach Works. My bad. But there is a build that I really liked. Special. Yes, I remember they made a Suffix F. I think it was this car exactly that I just. This is why I like Range Rover. This this Range Rover Classic Suffolk X is why I like Range Rover. The way it looks, it's boxy, but it's somewhat modern. That is peak Land Rover. However, going to a company like this and building one is out of the question. It's just too. It's expensive as hell. Like beyond the means of normal man. And this is why Land Rovers and brands that suck. With Jaguar, it's just a new branding. I hate it. With Lycan, they don't exist. Like, for example, BAC, I can make an excuse because I've actually seen one on U.S. soil. Same with Ariel. You can get someone to build you an Ariel kit car. Here, I've seen one that was built, like an actual built Ariel kit car with like a built engine and everything. It made like 800, 900 horsepower. It was devious, but right. Smart, they don't exist anymore, and Mitsubishi Motors, they suck ass. But if I were so inclined with money and I had, oh damn, I'm actually saving this for a different episode, but like the 20 car garage, The 20 car garage would probably have to be another episode, but I'd probably start with one of these. Cause man, I just love the way these look in Warwick green. Cream interior. I just want to see the inside of this thing because I remember this car as well. It may have been a different car because it looks like a slightly lighter green than I'm remembering. But one of these Suffix F cars, and that's another weird thing. Like the chassis codes for these cars were so weird. So, for example, all of the British Leyland shit has like weird things. So a Mini would be like an Appendix K, if I'm remembering correctly. These would be like Suffix Fs. The Defenders would come in series, so like generations. I believe they also have their own chassis codes or whatever. But, oh man, I'm kind of liking this. But I know for a fact they probably charged out the wazoo for one of these. I remember their pings hour though. This, not this specifically, but like I remember someone building a pings hour near there. I do remember some of these builds though. Like they do have some. They did do some builds. Um, yeah, these discoveries were actually quite cool as well. I kind of like these, even though, right? Range Rover, terrible build quality. But man, a Suffix F Range Rover Classic is what I'm looking for. How much are these going for? 40 grand. Okay. Um, Classic two door Outlander. So I'm assuming the four-door ones and the ones that have been really, really trashed on. So this is a Suffix A. So what's the difference between a Suffix F and a Suffix A? I'm guessing these may be later. These are Suffix Bs. I really don't like the four light grill, man. I'm assuming these two are different cars. If I look at the interior of this. But I like the way these look. It's just that I think these would be like I'm not a square body Chevy or a Ford truck guy, man. I think your truck needs to have a little class. It's either these or like early G wagons are the way to go for trucks. But oh, man, they're going up there. They're getting up there. So yeah, this would be my tier list, man. Actually, one quick change I'm gonna make is that yeah, this is my tier list. Actually, no. Why did I put Caterham in B? Come on, get that shit up here. Yeah, there we go. I'm happy with this. Take care.